what's going on.
Wait, what?
I said it.
Can they hear me? I guess they can hear me. Hi. Welcome to the game. So this game, there's a lot of sorry. This game is called Lyoko Quest for Infinity, and it is based off of a French animated cartoon made in the 2000s and 2000s, from like 2002 to 2006. But thankfully, back in the 1980s, we had time control to be able to go back and find this. Why did I go to the Wii menu? I wanted to restart. Dang it. Okay. It's gonna take like 5 more seconds. You can see all the amazing games I don't have on my Wii U. Using a load file, am I right, dude? Shoutouts to the Wii U loading screen for Wii games. Shouts out. So, this game is based off of the cartoon Code Lyoko, which was, in my generation of people growing up, was very, very, like, close to me. I watched it all the time, and a lot of people watch this a lot of the time, but not many people knew that there are 3 different video games based off of it. 2 DS games and a Wii game. And this is the speedrun of the Wii game, which is by far the most broken. And this is certainly going to be a really good watch. For the purpose of this run, I'm going to save the game. Normally, throughout like world record attempt runs, I would not, because saving actually loses almost a minute throughout the entire run, because the saves take 4 seconds or 3 seconds each. And also, this is going to make the run slightly harder because the game lags when you save, like just before, like just it drops frames, and sometimes I'll end up dropping jump input. So if I fail a frame perfect jump, don't worry, that's the game. Don't worry. So times get ready. You got this, Gary. Thanks, Virgie. Time starts when I leave the Welcome to Academy screen. Yeah, it saves 1 minute to not save, and I've actually lost a world record run because the game crashed on the final level of my 2-hour speed run, which is really nice. Should I count down, or should I? Hold on. Or should I just go? Also, so this is a PG, or this is a 18 plus stream, so it's after dark now. So the worst you're gonna hear me say is heck and poopy. So okay, ready? Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're gonna ignore basically everyone in this show in the overworld. An interesting thing about this game is, unlike the 2DS games, the entire original cast for the game, for both English and French dubs, we played their roles in this game. So all the original voice actors. Also, can you mention in chat if there are any voice like any Bid Wars one for dialogue or language? If you can. Right now I'm gonna switch to French because it's actually slightly faster for a reason I can mention in just a bit. So you notice I kind of just I jumped really high in order to grab that ledge. That's the first really big glitch in the game. You can see I'm going to double jump really weirdly. I just skipped a 20-second cutscene. I'm going to do it again right here. Skip a 10-second cutscene. I'm going to jump over this wall. This is not really intended. But this, there's a bug with the shooting, with the projectile animation with this character and one other character. This character is Odd, who's one of the 5, or actually, yeah, one of the 5 kids based main characters from the show. So I'm gonna fall, but I actually hit the checkpoint I needed to hit. Yeah, ignore everyone, really. I might accidentally click on one character in particular, who's right next to where I need to go. Oh, that's entirely accidental. So, whenever we beat a level during the story, we actually get sent right back to the academy, because we're supposed to talk to people. Each time you beat a level, there's entirely unique and different commentary that you can go to each person and hear. But, I really don't want to worry about that, so I just kind of go right back, because we have to save the world. So, the reason I switched to the language... Yeah, how odd, I know, right? The reason I switched to French is because the spoken cutscenes like this, in particular, don't progress by, like, text boxes like many games. It actually progresses by spoken word. And the French spoken dialogue is actually slightly faster overall. It saves about 1.5 minutes throughout the entire run, because the voice actors in English really want to draw the acting out. So they make sure that every single line is super slow to draw impact. Also, I just did a little skip. It just skipped going all the way around. That is a one-frame jump to jump off of that item to be able to get on top of the platform. It saves like half a second. I'm also gonna do a thing called moonwalk into a glitch called breakdancing, which actually makes me go slightly faster. This game is really glitch heavy at the beginning, and I apologize. I'm gonna do the best I can to explain. You might end up, depending on if one particular thing happens, you might end up seeing a revisit of the glitch moonwalk. It's basically, I confused the game into knowing, confused the game by landing and also shooting projectile at the same time. And it really doesn't know how to react to that, so the character I used, Yumi, will continue to follow the pointer around the screen, but if she'll maintain her walking, she'll continue walking at normal speed, which means we can walk her backwards. I used it right there to do a glitch, a little exploit called breakdancing, where I made her spin around while she was dodge rolling, and it actually, for some reason, we don't know why, but it makes her roll slightly faster and slightly farther. We don't know why. I found that out like 2 months ago, just goofing around, and this game really is very questionable overall. So, the original cartoon that premiered from 2002 to 2006 had 4 different seasons. This game is based off of the 4th season. Majority of it. So, in the 4th season, there's a thing called replicas. Well, first, let me explain that this is a thing called the Digital Sea. We're going to be revisiting this a lot throughout the run. This is kind of the only major, like, downtime or bad thing, like, that's not, like, frame-perfect movement and 2-frame double jumps. By the way, double jumps are 2-frame tricks every time I try to do one, so. But we're going to see a lot of these. I have a lot of stuff I can talk about throughout these. And, of course, like, if there's any donations you want to read, then go right ahead and let me know. Does the original cartoon have a breakdance? Unfortunately, no. I do not think so. Sadly, they do not have double jumping in the cartoon. And also, there's going to be another glitch right here that you're going to, in just a few minutes, like a minute, actually. And you're going to see, it's another reason that I picked up this game. It's very noticeable. I'll see if you can notice what's wrong with the glitch. Star Fox Wii, you know what? Got it, dude. Star Fox Wii. And later on, we're going to actually be playing Metal Gear. I'll mention that in a bit. So this is Star Fox and Metal Gear, and, platforming, I guess. So I'm going to go up here. Okay, I'm not going to go up there. That actually sucks. I have to respawn at the beginning. I was trying to do a thing where, so Odd and Yumi's double jumps work slightly differently. If Odd is walking and then jumps and tries to do a double jump, it does not work properly because Odd has to be in an idle animation to do a double jump, and his walking animation does not allow him to be in idle, the idle animation when he's walking and then jumps. So I tried to do a double jump. I did a 1-frame jump on the ground in order to be able to maintain the I stopped for like just a second in order to like be in an idle animation, and then I jumped again in the first frame I landed in order to store that. It's gonna be a neat little thing. It's gonna help with spacing later on. So yeah, look forward to that. I'll mention it every couple of times it happens. So Odd and Yumi have different characteristics with double jumping. Another thing that's good with Odd, which is really handy, is after every other dodge roll, I can jump out of it. And I can use that to buffer double jump, because for some reason, Odd can just double jump right out of dodge rolling. Also, I forgot to mention the fact that I kind of just hovered through the air. That's a glitch called balance beam hovers. So balance beams are supposed to be a thing we get, there's an ability called balance beam we get way later on in the game. And it's supposed to be used, we're supposed to revisit the game areas and be able to get other goodies and collectibles for 100%. But the gravity on the balance beams are really questionably programmed. So all I have to do is jump over the little wall that prevents me from walking onto it. Jump over it, and then walk forward, and then press B, which is the shoot button, and I can just hover. Unfortunately, there's three characters that can do it out of the 4 that we can play as. One is continues to be, you have to do continuous 1-frame inputs with motion control, mind you. So there's actually a bit of motion control in this game, but we can talk about that way later when it actually applies. But so it's gonna be a little bit that's kind of out of the question for RTA runs. But thankfully, Odd and Yumi are going to be the characters we use most throughout the run. Because they're really double jumpy, there's going to be a speed exploit we can use with Odd later in the run, and they can both do bouncing hovers. There's going to be a couple levels where we have to play as very specific characters besides Odd and Yumi based on story progression. So we're going to get to that a little bit later. So. Actually, the game is runs at 60 FPS, but inputs run at 30 FPS. So it's a 2-frame trick, but it's 30 FPS, which isn't absolutely horrible. Also, I'm gonna shut up for like 5 seconds. I have to do a pretty annoying trick. That's not landing on that platform. I don't know why I fell off. Nice! Okay. So what that was is I had to do very precise movement. If I move very specifically, I can be able to double jump onto the second platform. Unfortunately, it's at an angle, and that's, if you happen to touch the wall at all, you lose all of your momentum. Which pretty much prevents you from being able to make it. There is one pixel you can land on in order to... Hold on. Nice! I skipped the cutscene. I hate that. There's a cutscene right there, and the hitbox is so questionable. It's really hard to get, and I'm surprised I got it in this marathon run. But yeah, if you lose your momentum, there's one pixel you can land on. It's basically a blind landing, but if you do, you can do a 1-frame jump and jump off of it. Which, this game is pretty punishing. There's a lot of 2-frame, 1-frame. I'm gonna try not to stick with explaining, oh, this is a 2-frame trick. Because it's not really, like, the easiest thing, like, to understand. Just know that double jumping is 2 frames, and there's going to be some instances where I'm jumping in midair, and that's a 1-frame trick. Otherwise, glitches are abusing collision, using an enemy to damage boost, which I may end up doing. I'll give it a try on in the next section. So, other than that, it's pretty basic movement. Also, I probably should mention, well, first, I gotta make this. So I mentioned before that Odd cannot double jump from idle and from moving, but what I did is I actually let go of the joystick for a quarter of a second, and that let me be able to jump and then continue to move, and that counted as Odd being standing still. So that's that's actually tech. There's some tech in this game. There's gonna be an instance later on, but I can mention it later. So this is the hardest cutscene skip to jump over for a specific reason. Give me a sec. Nice. Oh no, I missed it! Ah, crap. So, a couple things can happen there. You actually have to jump diagonally in order to avoid that, and I just barely hit it. That is the highest cutscene trigger in the game that we know of. Also, there are enemies that are shooting you from behind, and if they hit you, they'll knock you right into the cutscene trigger. Hitting it only loses, like, not much time, like 5-6 seconds. But, like, those are my seconds, and I want them now, so. Also, you're kind of noticing the fact that I am kind of double dodge rolling with Odd sometimes. That's a little glitch. I'm basically shooting and jumping at the same exact time while I'm dodge rolling. And it's just letting me, just do a canceled dodge roll. It makes it go slightly faster overall, but there's going to be a little glitch we're going to find about, like, half an hour into the run that dramatically speeds up the game. Like, by 3 times the speed we're normally going. If I can like, not fall off a ledge. So, we're gonna see that in a little bit. So, yeah. What is next? Desert Sector. Wait. So, in the show, I completely forgot to explain the plot of the show, because not many people have seen this entirely. So, what we're going into is a place called Lyoko. And this kid named Jeremy, who is the guy who's sitting at the computer that doesn't really do much, he found the computer and decided to open it. And then by accident, he ended up letting out a sentient computer virus bent on destroying the world. And, you know, he kind of accidentally let it into the world. So the only way to be able to combat the virus, which is known as Xana, is to go into Lyoko, which is where we are, and to fight him in many different ways. During this season, we had a friend named William, who we decided eventually to let him join our group to help fight, and then he accidentally got possessed because he was not paying attention. So, we're gonna be fighting him a couple times. Majority of the time we're gonna fight him, we're gonna end up either walking right past him or skipping him entirely. So this is actually one instance. This boss is really, really annoying. I need to do 15 hits, and that was nowhere near 15 hits. If you are very, very precise, you can do that in one cycle. But it's only been done. It's only been done in a speedrun once before, like only once ever before. So it's really hard. The one cycle, that guy. We're gonna fight him 2 more times later on, and they're gonna get more and more hard because he spends less and less time on screen. I'm gonna try a dumb strat here. So there's a thing you can do where you can manipulate the AI of some enemies here. I don't know why I didn't keep moving. I just stopped for a second. And I have to do precise. I'm gonna attempt to get hit in midair and do a 1-frame jump in order to reset my double jumps and make it over there. No, okay. That's the only time I'm gonna try it. It's really, really hard and annoying. If you can get it consistent, it's kind of easy. What it does, it just lets us go the way we went the first time, which saves like 15 seconds in a run, because otherwise we would have to go this way and there's gonna be a fight at the end of this. But I always, like, for marathons, I try it once, because if you mess it up the first time, it's like you have to either reset the entire level or like just go the other way. Also, I kind of just stood on a little tiny bit of the wall. I tried jamming myself into there as best as I could in order to jump off of it. So I'm gonna do a thing where... Neat. So as I landed, I let go and then didn't input on the joystick on the nunchuck. Also, this game is done by Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and it's actually done pretty well for being a Wii Remote and Nunchuck game. Like B does shooting, and you can just hold down B and then point with the pointer. A is jump, which like is the most like the first button you want to come across. So it actually does really well for a nunchuck, Wii Remote and Nunchuck. But what I did climbing those platforms is every time I was about to land, I let go of the joystick, and right as I landed, I hit the joystick again. And what that did is it canceled Odd's landing animation. Whenever Odd is going up and landing on the platform above him, he has a landing animation. But if I do that, it skips having to do that. It skips his landing animation. I can just continue to climb up. Which is really nice. Doesn't save much, but it's a neat strat. So very conveniently in the game, so like we've seen this level before, and they'll end up sending you back to the same place you've been before, and but there's gonna be like a wall stopping you, and you know how we do with walls already. You've seen, but we'll get to that in a bit. But they'll say like, oh, you can't go this way because this button is deactivated. But the thing they don't do is they don't actually remove the loading zone to end the level. So what I can do is originally you're supposed to hit a button to spawn a platform, but I can actually just jump all the way over here and skip having to go the other way. The other way has an auto-scroller, actually 2 auto-scrollers and a bunch of fights, which is really annoying. Also nice, I actually jumped over a very questionable wall trigger. If I hit the trigger, I would have spawned that wall, and I would have to either die or clip through the wall, which is an entirely different thing. So, Rip! Okay, that doesn't lose much time. These platforms in the game really don't make sense, surprisingly. Also, rip this guy. He was there before, but he's not there anymore for some reason. I don't know why. So, neat, I got it. That's what that cutscene skip should look like. So, also you saw I picked up an ability. Oh. Give me a sec. So you saw I picked up a little bit. Oh, nice. Real quick, I want to mention that sometimes the game just spawns enemies on different spots for no reason at all, and it happened right there, and that's actually faster because they're closer to you. So that's a really like dumb bug with the game. So it's neat. But you saw there's little big blue puffs of smoke that you're gonna see me come across. I'm gonna pick up most of them that I come across, mainly either because they're either faster or I have to. And that one in particular is an ability called Triplicate, and technically I could skip it, but it would have to require manipulating an enemy AI into walking off a ledge by himself, which really isn't what the game wants to do. So. Are you trying to speak? Because I do not hear you in my, Give me a sec. I do not hear... Someone's, in my, channel, or my... I don't know why. So someone is trying to talk in my, the Discord call, but they're not getting picked up by either me or the, OBS. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's kind of just dumb. That's kind of unfortunate. I'm sorry for that. I have a kind of a dumb problem with that with my computer for some reason. It just sometimes decides not to do that. So this is one of the biggest run killers in the run, in the any percent speed run. There's gonna be a trick I'm gonna do. It's two-frame window. It's a two-frame trick. So there's gonna be two different two-frame tricks that I have to do. Also, Ulrich has, this is Ulrich, this is the first time we've actually seen him being used. We do not have Odd or Yumi, so unfortunately our glitches are very limited. But thankfully, Ulrich has the ability to slash off the edge, like off an edge. Also, Ulrich is the best Jedi. He has the ability to slash off the ledge, and if you time a 1 frame input, you can jump out of it. And we're gonna use that to skip a bunch of walls in this level. Neat. Don't die. So this is petrification skip. I'm gonna go for it twice, just to try to get showed off. Oh, okay. Thank you, dude. Thanks, Kona. I'm gonna be quiet for just a second. Nice! I didn't even get to do the trick. So, you probably noticed that the tree has collision for some reason in that specific spot. I'm gonna do it still 2 more times, but sometimes the tree's collision just doesn't work and you can fall right through it. So since the incentive was not met, I can actually do a strat in a little bit through it in the run. So I'll show it off in like the next split, I think. No! RIP! Okay. So I got the first trick, I got the first 2-frame, but I did not get the second 2-frame. I'm gonna do it 1 more time, but buffer it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a slash attack in midair and then changing characters. And when I change characters, I have 2-frame input to be able to jump out of it. So I'm gonna try this 1 more time, but I'm gonna buffer it just so I can show it off. That does not work. I have to go kind of far with this. Sure, okay. I'm not gonna worry about it because the tree decided, I'm not gonna let you do this. So, what I was gonna do is, you slash, and then you hit the home button, and the home button is really neat, because when you unpause it, and you hold a button, when you unhome and you're holding a button, the first frame the game loads, it'll press that button, which is really neat. We're gonna use that a bit later in the run. But, what I would have done is, I would have changed characters with that, and then jumped. And I would have grabbed the legend. I would be able to skip this ability that I just picked up, which is petrification. It is entirely useless because we are able to just jump. What it is we freeze an enemy, and we can use them as a platform. But fortunately, we have the ability to jump. Like, just jump over anything we want to, except for this stage. This stage is really the only reason we would get it. Also, I'm getting bamboozled IRL by these guys, so I'm just going to do a safety strat. Now that I have petrification, I can do a glitch later in the run to save a bit of time. But it's unfortunately doing the skip saves. Would you like to die? Thank you. Nice. Doing the skip saves 15 seconds, and the new glitch I can do only saves about 3. So unfortunately, I'm gonna lose time overall in not like a perfect situation for run. So this is the first time you're going to see me upgrading characters. So each character has different stats, and you can upgrade both their abilities. Would you like to thank you, Odd or Oric? Also, all of the menus and everything are done by pointer, so I have to move pretty quickly. So each character has four different upgrades for both power and a specific ability they have. We're not going to upgrade any abilities in this category. In a different category, 100%, which is the main category I run, we do upgrade one very specifically for the run. But otherwise, we're going to... Points route in this game is very specific. Also, I probably should mention the fact that I just skipped the entire level. So, this level is a giant circle. So, I just jumped to the very last platform, and the game's like, you know what? You hit the checkpoint. Good enough. You beat the level. So, they spawned these guys, which are the best enemies in the game. Box, and a bunch of boxes, and a ball. So, just by grabbing that platform, we were able to trick the game into thinking, to activating a checkpoint we really shouldn't have been able to. And the only reason we're able to get there is because we're able to double jump. Okay. Nope. Yo! Nice! So, if you kill the reason I didn't kill the ball at first is because, if you kill the ball before the rest of the boxes die, then, they just spawn another ball. But if you kill all the boxes and then kill the ball, it ends the level. So what I attempted to do, which I suffered, but eventually, ironically, ended up getting it, was manip the ball off the ledge, and then right before he dies, by voiding out, kill the last box. Doing that in a run saves 5 seconds. Unfortunately, I kind of just got beaten up a lot, so it really didn't save much time. So, also, I'm gonna go for this trick again. I have to do this trick 2 times in the run. Oh, I got it! Nice, I got the clip. I'm gonna do this meme. Okay, never mind. This is a meme. Never mind. So there's a strat for any percent called Cat Jumpless. The ability I'm using right now is called Cat Jump. And it is technically skippable with a bunch of very arbitrary double jumps and moonwalks. It saves 10 seconds, but unfortunately it is very, very easy to lose a run to it. So currently, even the world record holder for any percent who's doing runs is not actually using it in his current route. So, which is really weird, which is really sad because it saves 10 seconds, but it's very difficult. I went out of my way right there to get that extra health boost. Normally in a run I wouldn't do it, but it's gonna also, we're supposed to use petrification there, I should mention, but we didn't want to worry about it. See, I went out of my way because there's gonna be one part in particular where I might end up dying, and dying would lose a bunch of time. Also, I moved very precariously there in order to skip a boss fight. If I continue to jump on the air and wiggle back and forth, it does not spawn an enemy there. And the reason I don't want the enemy to spawn there is because there's a cutscene telling you, we've never seen this guy before, how do we kill him? So, I had to move very precariously around that. That little cutscene alone is like 15 seconds, which is very weird. So since there are no incentives for language, I'm actually going to do a little trick where I switch the language to English for just this fight. So I gotta pay attention because this is actually kind of precise.
Okay, I found very dangerous species. Vulcans. Watch out for their exploding shock. Any info on weak spots? My simulation says
Not gonna get it.
triplet tape is the most effective weapon against.
Oh, rip! Okay. So what I was attempting to do was kill him. I kill him before Jeremy finished talking. As soon as Jeremy finishes talking, the level ends. And I wanted to kill him as fast as I possibly could. Also, I have to switch the language back to French. I wanted to kill him in order to get his XP. He drops 500 XP, which is a lot for this part of the game. And just conveniently, we are going to be short 500 XP later on in the run. If I got that, if I was able to kill him, I would have gotten that XP. Unfortunately, I did not. Also, I switched to English because the dialogue is slightly slower, so it gives me more time to be able to kill him fast enough. I missed a attack with Yumi, with fan attack, and that's the reason why I did not get the kill. So in the next level, I'm gonna have to grind. Getting it saves a bunch of time depending on how you deal with the next enemies. So it's pretty unfortunate I didn't get that. In cheap percent, which is a different category I run, you have both super speed and super strength. So fun thing to do is run up to him, kill him, fall off the ledge and die, respawn, kill him again before Jeremy stops talking. It's super fun and stupid to do. So it's a really neat thing. Pretty neat. It's something stupid I end up doing because cheap percent is pretty annoying to get consistent. Because there's it's a lot harder of movement, but I can mention that a little bit later. So I have to kill these guys in order to get up to 1300 XP. 1300 is my threshold. So unfortunately, these guys will really want to heckin' bamboozle me. Neat. Each of the tarantula guys drop about like 150 XP. So I need to kill like 3 in order to kill enough. This is a nice little trick, so I'm gonna dodge wall right there. And what I did is, while the cutscene's happening, I'm actually moving on this platform right here, and it shoved me off and actually killed me. It's skipping a little bit of that cutscene. Just a little bit of an optimization. It saves like a half a second. Or like maybe even like a 3/4 of a second. I'm not sure, but it's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool strat. Also, I just fell. That is an instance I mentioned earlier where the game decided to eat my jump input because the game lagged. Neat. That's just this is a really hard jump to make. So from here on out, levels are gonna start being a little bit laggier than they normally would. That's a problem because when the game has saves on, it likes to lag even more. So I'm gonna end up probably dying a bit more from now on than what I would rather like. So I'm gonna stand here and there's a button. There's a button. Oh god. How do I do this? Button. Guys, I solved the puzzle. Frame perfect. Frame perfect puzzle. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Frame perfect. Heckin. Also, I'm waiting. I'm killing these guys anyway because I have to wait for this to go up anyway, and it just ensures that I have enough XP. This right here is actually balance beam, which we would normally get, but we have a better use for the balance beams, as you're gonna see right now. Also, so this is a fast hover. There's different speeds you can get for hovering, depending on when you time your inputs, how you're moving, how fast you're moving and stuff. It's really complex, but with odd it's a lot easier to understand because I want to move and hit B at the same exact frame in order to get the maximum speed with hovering. The slow, like a medium hover or an average hover versus a fast hover only loses like not much time. Like over that it would lose like half a second. But like in one of the bigger hovers in the run, which we're gonna do a little bit later, it can save like a whole 3 minutes. Or wait a second, a whole 3 seconds or more, like 5 seconds. Yes, I can lose 3 hours on this 1 hour speedrun because I decided to not because I messed up a trick. Yes, that is perfect logic. This game, yeah, this is a lot like Sonic Boom in the sense that we have 4 different characters. And each character has a unique different characteristic, each different glitches, exploits, and stuff. Also, please don't die, thank you. So it is in that kind of sense. And also, it's very broken. But fortunately, this game is actually a lot better. There's actually plot and story in this game. In this game, you know what this game has that the other one doesn't? Big foreheads. Have you seen Yumi? Look at Jeremy. Look at Jeremy. He has the bang, and that's it. Like he's got the forehead. He got the mind. So, everyone say hey to William. This is gonna be the first time we're actually gonna meet him face to face. And, I really don't care, so bye, William. Bye, dude. We're supposed to be able to kill him. We get a cutscene, and then a guy spawns in order to use creativity, or petrification, rather. And actually, I need a second. This is kind of annoying. That might be good. Might not. Yeah, that's good. GG. So that, when I'm hovering, I mentioned before that you can buffer inputs with the Wii remote, or Wii menu. Home menu, I'm so sorry. With the home menu. And I did that when... What? That's not supposed to happen. Can someone clip that, please? I need to look into that later. Because that's not... what might have happened... So, when you're hovering, if you either let go or B or the cursor goes off screen, then, you fall. But I didn't do either. What might have happened is the game lagged, and it dropped my input. It dropped, like, the pointer input. Also, I really don't want to die, because what you saw right there is a glitched cutscene. If you pick up an ability and then die before hitting the next checkpoint, the game wants to make sure you know how to use it. But if you're at a different spot, than where you normally get it, it's like, okay, let me show you this again. And in one particular area of the game, it can scroll literally the entire part of the map if you die. Thanks, Kona. Thanks, Kona. So this is, so according to the story, Ulrich, went to the hospital to visit his dad. Also, I'll mention that in a second. To visit his dad. And then all of a sudden, they activated a tower. Xana activated a tower, which is their way to be able to to do power on the world. So, William eventually had to come back. And this is the only level where we're just playing as just Ulrich. So we get to see a bunch of movement tech and movement optimizations like this. I use triplicate and then I just slash the wall. That's a thing. It's a little glitch called early triplicate. I'll mention it a little bit later when I actually have to use it for more than just destroying a rock. This is collision abuse. Oh, okay, good. I slash onto the platform, and then it lets me just ride up it. You're supposed to go all the way around and fight a bunch of enemies and spawn some platform, but I really don't want to do that, so I just kind of jammed myself in the wall until it gave away. So this is the puzzle tower, like TTYD, except only better. I have 4 buttons, and this is 2.5 minutes long. So, this is really, really neat time. This is a good time to mention that... Dang, I don't know if I got it. This is a nice time to mention that this marathon is raising money for Save the Children, a really nice foundation to save children. They can help serve aid to like anyone in need, kids in need and stuff. It's really nice. Also, I hit the button, but I was doing slash attacks, if you noticed. What I did was, why I did that is so in order to be able to fall off the ledge. Well, so while the cutscene's going, you normally can't move. But with Ulrich, if he's doing slash attacks like this, if you continue to chain them, you can actually continue to move. And what I did was I moved enough to fall off the ledge. And what that did is just, it let me not have to fall down. The platform I was just at is right above where I needed to go. So I was able to fall during the cutscene, and I just skipped a little bit of time of me actually falling. It's a little optimization. Also, the swag boost, that's actually kind of annoying to get. Neat. He actually hit me. Neat. There's a lot of, unfortunately, like, this specific level is the longest, like, individual, like, world indie run. But unfortunately, it's like, there's not much besides very optimized movement, and if you're like me that really loves optimizing very dumb stuff, then by all means you're gonna love this level, but unfortunately it's not really the most entertaining. Right now I have to solve this puzzle. Die. Maybe if I kill this guy. No. I'm gonna, oh hey look, a button! Wow, look at that! GG. This is the best 80s game you're gonna see all for the next hour and a half. For the next hour, rather. So shoutouts to that. Shoutouts to the hardest puzzle. So I'll mention the fact that there's a theorized thing that we've been investigating since like the game was first ran a long time ago, called puzzle skip. So Ulrich has some glitches. He can jump in midair. He can jump in midair from slash attacks. But unfortunately, he is not able to skip any portion of that thing at all. If we were able to find a consistent hover, or a double jump, even a double jump for Ulrich, which is not feasibly possible at all right now, if we were able to find that, we could save upwards of 1.5 minutes on this level. Or even 2 minutes if it goes perfectly. Just by being able to skip the puzzle. But it's not feasible right now. There is one platform where if it was just very slightly lower, puzzle skip would be just free, because we'd be able to slash onto it, but unfortunately it's not possible. RTA rather. It might be possible in like a task. We're working on a task. By we're, I mean me, and but when I mean working on a task, I mean I just figured out how to download emulator. So we're getting there. We're getting there a bit. So I mentioned a little bit ago that also I apologize my voice cracked. I'm a bit tired. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night for no reason at all. And also I had to wake up early because I had to help babysit my nephew, my 4-year-old nephew, who came into my room at 10 a.m. And it's like, Gigi, who I'm Gigi to him because I'm Gary. Gigi, wake up! So I had to wake up at like 7 in the morning. So I mentioned a little bit ago that there's going to be a little glitch I can use in order to move a lot faster. Well, I have it now. I'm going to have to pay attention to this because this level's actually pretty hard, and then I can explain it right after. What my nephew think of Code Lyoko? He really likes that I play video games fast. He really likes it. He likes to watch too, so it's really neat. He was really a big fan, to be honest. So that's really neat. Oh no! Oh, don't clip. Okay, I can get stuck in the wall's collision there if I'm not careful enough. So that is a thing called time control cancels. We picked up in the last lava area where I hovered and then accidentally died for no reason at all. I picked up an ability called time control. What you're supposed to do is be able to slow down time in order to like traverse enemies and platforms. But time control has a very unique characteristic to where it overrides any animation if you're on the ground. So I can do a dodge roll, and then I can hit time control, and it cancels the animation. So it basically makes me stand still. So I can really do anything from there, including another dodge roll. So I can just continue to chain dodge rolls as fast as I can spam the C button, which is what I use for time control. So as fast as I can possibly spam, the better I can go majority of the time. And it's really neat because before we were moving at like, now we're going to be moving like 2.5 times faster than what we were before prior. In cheat percent, which I mentioned before, there's this cheat you use cheat code for super speed, and if you that gives you a lot of speed, and I might end up showing it a little bit later after the one if something that ends up being met, something that happens. But give me a second. Hi. Like a noodle, dude. What was I about to say? Oh, what was I about to say? I forgot what I was about to say. I apologize. I am very scattermined when running this game because there's a lot of precise stuff I have to do. Nice! I got the other cursor glitch. I can mention that. So, if I shoot the guy right as he leaves the screen, I get a thing called the other cursor glitch, which basically means I am not able to move the mouse or the pointer. I was not able to unshoot, rather. Because the game's like, wait, I don't know how this is supposed to work. You're shooting, but you're not shooting anymore. So it's like, you're just not going to shoot for like a solid 10 seconds. So that kind of sucks when it happens. So I'm going to do earlier, I mentioned that there's a glitch I can do with the ability petrification that saves about a few seconds. It is right here in this level. There's a lot of, I'll mention this later and stuff, and I apologize if I'm bouncing around a lot. Also, I just skipped the entire stage by hitting that checkpoint. Again, it's a giant circle, but it's very convenient that there's a hitbox right below platform. And I have to be quiet for a second. Nope. Stop it. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna try it one more time, just for the fans. So what I'm trying to do is highlight an enemy that can be petrified, and then move it the very last second. And what I'm trying to do is highlight William at the very last second. And what I can do... No. Stop. What the... Okay. I'm just gonna have to stick with the original shot. No. One more time. One more time. This is really easy. I don't know why I'm messing this up. Oh, hey, William, how you doing? Heck, I got it, but I messed it up. Can you please, like, not noodle me? Okay. I am not gonna be able to do it. Also, shoutouts to this texture glitch. That actually can lag the game. So, what I was trying to do is, if I hover over an enemy that can be petrified, and then move it the very last second, I can highlight basically any character I want, and then I can use that on that. And what I can do is basically insta-kill William, which saves like 3-4 seconds. Unfortunately, it's not that hard. I just messed it up multiple times. You can use that to do something, and I'm depending if I have time after, I might end up showing it off. Where you can intentionally hardlock the console, which was the save or kill or spare the console incentive, but unfortunately the tracker is not working very well. So I don't really know. I assume that it would have been met by, like, there would be like $1 for kill, because it's actually really interesting and dumb glitch. Which, by the way, if you're donating like 5 seconds, go ahead and donate for that, just so I am forced to do it. So, this is the first of 5 boss fights in the game. And this is also the first time where motion control comes very into play. The boss fights are actually very, very well done. There's 5 boss fights for all 5 areas of replicas. From mountain, ice, forest, desert, and volcano. And they're all pretty well done. The only problem is we have to use Ulrich to slash, and this is where a thing called Ulrich Sass can come into play. Sometimes, like right there, Ulrich can decide to not actually attack. He can just stand perfectly still. We don't really know why. It has to do with the bugginess of the motion controls, why we're going so fast. So, can everyone spam in chat, please no Ulrich Sass? I have an FFZ emote, Ulrich Sass. Just Ulrich Sass, no space. Please spam that for the good, the God William, or God Ulrich, no sass. We're doing pretty good right now. If we do not get sassed, we can 2.5 cycle this guy, which we might be able to. If I don't get sassed, I can 3 cycle, which is still really, really good. Great, just barely. Oh, nice! I swiped him right in midair. So this is the last this is the last phase of the fight. I'm gonna shoot the guy in the eye. Nice. That was really good. Like, that would have been a best segment for a boss fight, for my boss fights. No, go away, sissy. So that's the second upgrade. Actually, the third upgrade. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Neat chat message. So I actually fought this guy a while ago, but unfortunately he just kind of died instantly. The main reason it was he died instantly is because there's other guys that I had to. Oh, hold on. I need to shut up for a second. This is actually hard. Noodle! I got Noodle. Good. Okay. You can one-cycle those guys, but it depends on how their shots go, the lasers go. If you're trying to highlight an enemy, but there's a laser right in front of it, it's gonna highlight the laser, because this game is perfectly programmed. So, which is really neat. Which is a really neat thing that can happen. What was it? I'm so sorry, I keep blanking. Oh, dang it. So this level we came here a while ago, and thankfully with Odd, we can be able to jump over a bunch of the walls. It's a lot less hard because we don't have to do the two-frame trick we did earlier that I failed to do. So it's a lot more neat, and there's also a lot more platforming, and hey, look, a balance beam! That's neat. We sure could use Yumi here, you're right, William. Or, Jeremy. So yeah, this is a neat thing, they left a little bounce beam right there just to get a little goodie, just so you have to revisit. And we can just use it for granted and be able to come here. So I mentioned earlier that that's not good. Noodled! Okay. The trees have, like I mentioned before, the trees have hitboxes in very obscure ways. And if you're if you're using balance beam on a slope, like I'll show this right here, you actually go up the slope. So the tree had a little bit of a hitbox, and it made me go down, and just barely low enough for me not to be able to hit the checkpoint, unfortunately. If I do that in a run, which my PP has in a run, if I do that in a run, it loses about like 10 seconds. 10 seconds or so. So, it's really sad if it happens. But, I mentioned earlier that, Obi can actually do, balance beam hover. But unfortunately, it is one frame chains. His balance beam hover is actually very fast, but unfortunately this level lags. And if the level lags, it is almost entirely impossible to use his, balance beam hover. Which is kind of sad. So, if we were able to do that, or get a balance beam hover with Aelita, which is the more likely of the two to happen. I don't upgrade yet, right? Then it would skip having to do the really hard trick. I have to skip doing all the one-frame tricks, or have to skip doing the enemy manipulation. And it would save, like, probably 30 seconds. Actually, more than, like, almost a minute. Also, I need to shut up, because this wall doesn't exist. Give me a sec. Rip, I soft locked! Okay. So I'm clipping into the wall collision. The wall right here has really wonky collision, and if I try hard enough, I can clip through it. And I'm trying to do is, you're supposed to... Nice, I didn't even jump. I didn't even get the jump. You're supposed to go around into 3 different quadrants of the map and hit buttons in order to open the doors. And what I am attempting to do is fall out of bounds multiple times in order to prolong the marathon to raise more money. Oh my god, I have to stop for a second. Give me a sec. Give me just a sec. Okay, I'm trying to... For some reason, the floor right there actually has 2 layers of floor, which is really unique. There's no other real, like, other platforms in the game that do that have that characteristic. Dang it. So, what I'm doing is I'm continuing to do double jumps under the floor in order to be able to skip having to go all the way around and hit buttons. If I get stuck... You saw that I reset when I got stuck between the first 2 walls. There's no actual way to get out of those, so you end up soft locking. The only way to get out of it is to reset the level. If you get stuck between the second and the third one, you can actually get out by jamming yourself into the wall with the roof like I did, like you saw me do. And, technically it is very slightly faster to continue to double jump all the way to the end, but it's like a second faster, and it requires doing more blind double jumps at an incline, so the timing is actually even more difficult. So the majority of the runners are just do that, right now at least. That's a really neat thing. Also, so the developers are a little bit of a troll and actually missed the last speed boost. So these are memory leaks, as they say in the game, and if you run into them either in the overworld or in levels or in the digital C sections, they'll damage you. And what the developers did is a really nice troll. They have speed boosts in the digital C sections, and they put them hidden in the digital C sections, in the lasers. So they really like to mess with the players. And if you end up hitting it, if you hit it, it's very easy to just die. Yo, shoutouts to working platforms. Did I actually grab that ledge? No, I didn't. Okay, I don't care. This is the laggiest level we've seen so far, which is gonna make it even harder to do some platforming because I'm saving. Because I have saves on. So if I stop talking, I apologize. I'm gonna probably be kind of spliced up with my commentary for the next minute. It's just this level can be really annoying. As you saw by me just falling to my death the 5 seconds into the level. Dude, so the ability we just got, the ability we just got is called telekinesis. It's used by Yumi, and it is one of 2 abilities in the entire game that cannot be skipped in order to, if you skip it, you can technically skip it in this level, but you need it for the next boss fight we're about to do. And if you get to the boss fight without the ability, you soft lock, because you need it to be able to damage the enemy. I'll mention that in just a second, but it is one of 2 abilities that are unskippable, and it's the only one of 2 things in a low percent speedrun, which is a different speedrun that is literally hell, basically. Because there's a lot more annoying stuff you have to do. But it is the one of 2 things in low percent that you actually have to get. You end low percent with like 1.1% completion. So, also low percent is a lot harder because you take a lot more damage because you don't have health upgrades and stuff, which are things I've been picking up. Also, there's a character, Nicholas, who is right next to the door of the lab. Halfway through the story, he decided to give you a goodie. And if you accidentally click on him during a low percent run, halfway through the story, or halfway through the campaign, he gives it to you, and your run is invalid because of rules of low percent. So, it's a really neat thing. I do not upgrade yet. Okay. The points route is pretty specific to the point where if I accidentally upgrade the wrong time or the wrong character, it can go catastrophically. And I need a specific amount of points at the very end of the run to upgrade a character. So, pretty important that I manage it well. I had a marathon run a couple of days ago, actually. Like, not that far ago. Not that long ago. For a marathon called Speed Stuff for Charity. No shout outs. This is Themeathon. Who would shout out a different marathon? Where I forgot to open my splits. The only reason I have my splits open, I don't time it because this run is basically always guaranteed to be slower because I have saves in marathon runs. But the reason I forgot to open my splits because I have on my splits the points upgrade, and that kind of stumbled a bit with my points route. So I made sure to open that up. So, if you see me, like, just stop talking, I might be looking at the, could you, like, thank you. Make you look at my splits. Also, those guys are really annoying. I have to actually wait for them to open up in order to damage them. I can do infinite amount of damage no matter what, but I just have to wait for them to open up. So, you can manipulate their cycle a bit by attacking them at very specific times, and they'll stay open or stay closed, but it's pretty hard to do RTA. So, there's a bunch of strats that are RTA viable versus task viable. I'm actually gonna, in the next level, but after this one, the next level, there's gonna be, I'll mention a strat that saves 3 minutes actually, but is task only for a very good reason. Tool assisted speedrun only for a very solid and reasonable reason. This level is really, really annoying. So, this level lags a lot during saved runs, so I might actually mess this up. I have to be quiet for a second. Give me a sec. So I'm gonna do another checkpoint abuse like I did a while ago. That's as far as I need to go. The game is considering, oh, you're on your way to the final area. This level's a giant circle again. So, okay, as soon as you get to the next checkpoint, which is at the very end, also I got the trick. Which is nice. I can talk now. As soon as you get back to the beginning, you'll fight the boss of the area. So that's as far as we need to go, which is very convenient because this level is really, really bad. In an old route of this, a very old route of this game, we walked a lot farther because there's actually a part where Jeremy says maybe you should go back now. So before we actually walked all the way over there, and then walked all the way back. And which really risked the game because it could end up lagging and even hard locking the console. So we ended up having to kill enemies we really didn't want to. I should mention this game is very poorly optimized and will a lot of the time can end up hard locking or overdoing the console or crashing the game So that's why we mainly have saves. I'm gonna go in here just for the sole purpose of reduced lag, and this is the most pivotal part of the run. Good. Okay. There's no major places where the game can crash from now on. Knock on wood. But that's the worst part. That's the second and final biggest and most annoying part that can end up crashing the game. So, there's a lot safer now. So this is Insect Lord. We're gonna end up doing a bit of damage. I don't know why I'm attacking him. Nice. And then he drops a block that Yumi has to use telekinesis on. You can, via damage boosting, you can actually get over to the platform, and you can walk into his collision where the hitbox is. But unfortunately, the hitbox is actually disabled when the rock is on it. So if we came here without the telekinesis ability, we would be stuck at the boss fight. But there's a neat little thing with this game where you cannot go to a level until you beat it every single time you go to it. The level where we got telekinesis, we have not beaten every time we go there. So if we forget the telekinesis and come here, we soft lock the game permanently. Because we can't actually go back and get telekinesis. So it's a neat thing. Shoutouts to me when I first started learning the game that did it by accident and wondered why I can't do damage to him and where telekinesis was. So it's pretty neat. Also, I'm gonna attempt. I have to be quiet for a second. Heck, it's not gonna work. Ah! Rip. Okay. I was attempting. Sure, why not? I was attempting to do a one cycle. So if I'm sorry for the grunt. That was pretty annoying. Also, he's kind of just sinking. He does that sometimes. If I change characters as the fans are in his hitbox, it continues to hit him over and over again. And if I can do it perfectly, which I did not, sadly, I can one cycle him very easily. Right? That's not right. What? Rip. Go back. Okay. A neat thing you can do here is if your menu movement is very, very quick, you can glitch Yumi's check boxes that upgrade it. If you do it really, really well, and you have good good luck with it, you can make it so Yumi's checkboxes are on odds phase, and it is very fun to try to go for. Give me a sec. Okay, never mind. I heard a little ding in my ear, and I've been having a problem with OBS recently where it decides to crash, and I got very paranoid that OBS crashed, but it did not, which is nice. I've not had the problem recently. I did not have it the last 3 or 4 days. I just one day I ended up crashing OBS multiple times. So I apologize for pausing for just a second. Also, do you like that shrimp guy? You're gonna see him 4 more times throughout the rest of the run. Also, here's a reminder: there's only 2 more digital C's after this. So just do the math. So that is another reincarnation of like a William ship that we killed. So that's neat. I could probably mention that if digital C sections were skippable in this run, the run would be about 50 minutes or maybe even 49 minutes. Unfortunately, they are fairly scripted. The game developers really liked Star Fox. So, also I forgot to mention, there's a level up before where in the game story, we are actually playing where they do not know we're at the level, so we're basically playing Metal Gear Solid at that point, which sadly I forgot to remind you guys. I apologize. So this is the level I mentioned a little bit ago, where there's a strat that you can save 3 minutes on if you get it. So right above us, right to the left and above us, there's the end of the level, and if you continue to if you continue to manipulate that guy's shots, please don't die. Neat. Neat. That's a thing that can happen. I got shot by one of the big guys, and it stunned me, but I was able to grab the ledge very quickly. Give me a sec. Okay. I really don't want to die. This is like a dumb place I can die if I'm not paying enough attention. Neat. I almost died. Okay. So, right where we... Why the hell did it take so long to die? Okay, that's neat. Give me a sec. You'll have to use time control. This is a really annoying jump. Okay, let's try that again. Guys, we really should use time control. What you're supposed to do is use time control to slow down time in order to hit the buttons, but I really don't want to do that. So, right up here is where is right above where we started. Also, shoutouts to the easiest cutscene skip in the game. I just jumped right around it. But, if we're able to do double jumps and we get shot in midair, it can reset the double jumps. So what we'd have to do is continue to chain double jumps by getting shot over and over again. And then do 1 frame jumps every time in order to continue to, like, get all the way up here. Unfortunately, you know, reasonably, it is not RTA viable at all. So, that's neat. Also, I'm activating the ability to triplicate, but then I'm hitting him, and I'm going right over here, and deactivating his shield too. Triplicate really doesn't work very well properly. Neat. That's not what it's supposed to happen. To where I can activate it, and then walk to a different guy. I need to actually kill you guys to get some energy. Neat. And then I can hit it, I can activate it, hit the guy, and then go to the next guy. And it saves a little bit of time because I can kill both of them. Unfortunately, I waited slightly too long on that guy. Also, shoutouts to that guy, the enemy that's flying right around me. He followed me from the very beginning to here. Also, he's literally not existent. I can't actually target him. Actually, I can target him. Never mind. I'm a big liar. I'm sorry. That's not how that's supposed to work. Hey, dude. How you doing? This is by far my favorite boss in the game. It's called Ice Spider. It's just because we have to use odd to shoot. There's not many instances where you actually have to shoot precisely with odd. And for some reason, I just really enjoy this concept that I'm precisely moving, jumping, avoiding, and getting hit in the laser in the forehead. Yeah, rip. The mind games, oh god. Stop it. Nice, okay. Oh, this is phase 2. I'm gonna try to shoot him in the face. Or in the eye, I can't tell. And then after a set amount of damage, he does a different attack. And then after a bit, he's gonna activate his weak point, I guess. And we can come around here, and this is the last instance of Ulrich Sass that can really go wrong. I got a little bit, but I'm gonna try to prevent it. Heckin' noodle, dude. Nice. I'm taking my earbud out for right now because I need to like, not worry about strangling myself accidentally by moving. Normally when I do runs of this, I have my mic on like a tray, like far away, and I sit a lot farther away. But unfortunately, I have to sit right next to my computer in order to be plugged in this far to be able to see and manage OBS and stuff a lot better. So please don't die, thank you. So, the reason I mention that is because a lot of the sensor movement is a lot different from closer up. So, I've made a couple mistakes just pointer-wise, or like movement, menuing-wise. That's mainly the reason. Neat. Give me a sec. Heck, that's another instance. I was not ready there. This level is really interesting. Where the heck? Okay. Heckin' noodle, dude. Okay. I'm trying to do something and I apologize. So this level is entirely movement based, except for one specific spot. And by specific I mean I have to kill one enemy. So this really shows off time control movement. I'm gonna hit this, and I'm actually gonna shoot right as I leave the ledge. And what that does is it actually makes me fall immediately. Normally you have to wait to get like full speed, but if I shoot while I fall off the ledge, it just gives me to the exact it makes me go to maximum speed as immediately. So, which is neat. Also, thanks Naze, thanks for the luck, dude. Right here, I actually use both hands to time control cancel because there's just a big gap I have to travel. So, I was gonna be on off cycle. If I move very fast, I'm on off cycle, which I call, where I have to actually double jump over all of these platforms. But thankfully, I kind of just got stuck, and I'm on cycle. Also, I'm gonna try to do this really neat movement. Neat. I'm killing these guys just to make sure I have 3,500 XP for the next fight, for the next level. Also, that's a nice little glitch I haven't been able to show off. If I jump and then activate cat climb on the next frame, I can jump, and it saves a little bit of time because it can skip having to do an extra jump. So that's neat. Also, Jeremy said we had to go in the tower deactivated. Don't worry, I went right in there. For some reason, the tower doesn't have collision, which is very weird because you can just walk there normally. Just like walking speed is enough in order to make it. So I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there either, game. Canoodle. Okay. This is my favorite level in 100%. 100% is a really neat category. It's just under 2 hours, and I fell off the ledge and killed myself. 100% has recently just gone under 2 hours, which, for getting like 85% of the rest of the collectibles, it only takes about like an extra 50 or 45 minutes to get everything else, which is really neat. I highly suggest watching 100%, because I worked on the route a lot. This game is pretty linear as like a game, as a speed game, but I managed to make it as non-linear as possible, or like the community better. I was one of the first people to decide I'm gonna make the 100% route, and then people started adding on and on. So we managed to make the game as non-linear as possible, which is very impressive. As you can probably see, this game is not non-linear at all. Neat. So this is an auto-scroller as sort. I have to wait a minute and a half for Jeremy to say, hey, we're done here! But I'm gonna kill these enemies for the main reason that I need XP. I need enough XP to upgrade Aelita, because I'm actually gonna be able to use Aelita in a bit for the final boss. Because she, surprisingly, is the most has the highest damage dealing per second ratio, which I cannot. Damage dealt per second. That's the word. She has the best damage dealt per second ratio, but she has to be fully upgraded, which we don't really have enough X points until the very end of the run. So, I'm just making sure to kill enemies just so I have enough XP to get her out there. 110 is actually really good for a marathon run with saves. I died a bunch just to try to show off a couple things, but really there haven't been many deaths that are really bad. So, which is really neat. Shoutouts to him. He unfortunately died before he even spawned. Heck. Die. Stop it. Stop it. Thank you. That's an instance of the pointer just being moved. You remember this guy from like 5 minutes ago when I mentioned that we're going to see him a couple more times? We're going to see him once here. In the final Digital C section, I should mention, so a lot of these Digital C sections are like a minute and a quarter at most. The last one is 2 minutes long. If you die anywhere in the middle of it, you have to start all the way from the beginning. So, which is really good for when I'm trying to be fast. So, I have lost many runs to just dying there because I try to do fast strats. Heck. Noodled. So, this is going to be the last instance we're going to go to Forest Replica. It's very, very interesting. I really like what they ended up doing with the place. With all the lava and the death. And please have the cursor, thank you. I just skipped the entire stage. So there's a lot to explain there. So this level, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to go find William. And it's kind of a maze-ish. We're supposed to go different places. And at the very end, we fight William, and then the teleporter spawns. And after the teleporter spawns, it teleports us right back to the skid, which is the ship we've been using. But very conveniently, we can just double jump right to the platform, and the trigger to end the level is right there still. So we can just end up. I'm actually gonna die because I need health. So I ended up getting shot twice, which is not preferable. So we just skipped the entire thing. Also, for some reason, the game developers started getting lazy at the very end of the run, to where they just put the wrong splash screen on. So even though this level already has like a splash screen, they just ended up putting the wrong one on, which is really neat. I don't know. So the reason I killed myself right there is because I need as much HP as possible, because I'm going to attempt to damage boost and do a two cycle. So, but that's phase 2. This is the longest boss in the run. The RTA world record for this level is 2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes 21 seconds, which is really impressive considering this phase. There's 3 phases. This phase is RNG based. So the number of balls he shoots and the number of waves he shoots are RNG determined every time you play the level. Now technically there always is the idea that you can manipulate it, but there's very hard to know to figure it out. So it'd be not realistic to do RTA. So we just kind of have to deal with it. If you get on average, or compared to average rather, if you get perfect RNG, you can save like 5-6 seconds. If you get horrible RNG, you can lose up to 10 seconds to 15 seconds, which is really neat. So this is pretty decent RNG, which is nice. A lot of the time you're gonna get around average RNG. Every so now and then, actually this is kind of above average. This is a little bit better than average, depending on. Normally, like the shots get more and more as every phase, and there's 4 phases. So, say he's gonna shoot. Oh, he shot 4. It's actually really good. This is very good. If he stops right now, neat. That's really good. Now we're gonna. I'm gonna give a little bit of a volume warning for anyone wearing headphones. If I change characters as the boss moves, sometimes they can make a very loud and annoying sound. So I apologize. So I'm gonna attack the 4 joint, and he's gonna drop his weak point. And I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna try to slash him. I'm gonna get behind him in order to. So he's after a little bit, he's gonna start hitting me. I'm gonna get bounced into the wall in between his leg. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to deal as much damage as possible. If I can deal enough damage, I can do a 2 cycle on this guy. If not, doing a 2 cycle saves maybe about like 6 seconds. Which looks like I'm on pace for if I don't get noodled or bamboozled. Oh my god! No! Rip. He's at 1 hit away. That kind of sucks. I got very into that. So there's, when he's going up, I kind of call it like a slash of justice, or slash of a, I guess, I don't know. When Ulrich's slash attack isn't working properly most of the time, so when he's going up, I always try to slash attack. I got 1, but the one that was most important that would have actually like saved the time. Rip. Good. That was almost perfect, which is really neat. The one that really was important, I missed, unfortunately. Marth is like Ulrich in Melee. Ulrich is like Marth in Melee. The tip of the sword does the damage, but sometimes it's not like that, and sometimes the sword just doesn't do damage at all. So I have to do a lot of spacing when I try to do that. Which, you know, the boss is going up. He's retracting his weak point. His very suggestive weak point. And I need to try to hit as much as possible. So spacing kind of goes out the window. It's more like just a YOLO slash at that point. So that kind of sucks. This is the final set of levels. This is the final Digital C. Right after this is going to be the final level. And right after that is the final boss. I'm actually making pretty decent time. I could probably mention a world record in my PB with this. So my personal best is a 1:17:14. World record. Would you like to like? Why? What the? I've never seen this. I've never seen this happen before. He just ran away. Is he coming back? I've never been bad enough to see this happen. Hi, welcome back. Hi, welcome. Good luck with the runs. Neat. So my personal best is a 1:17:14. I am currently second place out of 3 people on the leaderboard. World record is 1:14:06, I believe. On the leaderboard it says 1:14:09, but recently the world record got beat, but the video got corrected. So it's like a 1:14:02 currently, as far as I remember. Also, shout out to that guy. We're gonna see more of him. Oh yeah, we saw 2 of them right there. We're gonna see 1 more of them later. So, world record, and the world record sum of best is a 1:10:55, or 1:10 maybe 40 if you be generous with some line. So the best one you could possibly theoretically get RTA is a 1:11, but it is very hard because you have to do a lot of very annoying tricks, a lot of very inconsistent and buggy movements and stuff. Also, shoutouts to I mentioned earlier, the developers are trolls. They put 2 speed boosts in this area, and if you die, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the Digital C. So, for the purpose of like not losing a marathon run, I'm not gonna go for them. In a world record attempt, or a PB attempt rather, for me, I would end up going for all of them, for both of them, because I have a somewhat consistent setup, but this game doesn't do things properly, and sometimes just messes up and isn't consistent. So that's neat. I can also mention world record for 100% is currently 1:58:30, with a world record sum of best of 1:49:20 something, or 1:48 actually, 1:48:50. The reason I am not getting as low of a time as my sum of best, the reason I have 10 minutes of improvement is because there's a couple dumb strats that I have to do in 100%. I am really one of the only people that mainly run 100% right now currently. It was kind of like my child, whatever, however you want to say it. And it's really neat run, honestly. So, and there's a lot of dumb strats. There's a strat in particular that you can get soft locked halfway through the run if you do not do things properly, which is really neat. Which is nice for an hour into the 2-hour speedrun. So. After this wave of marathons, I'm gonna be picking that up. So if you really want to see 100%, it's really neat. There's a lot more glitches and exploits and a lot of other things that are not shown in any percent. Also nice. Would you like to? Thank you. Shoutouts to Rocks being absolutely perfectly programmed. So if you'd like to see some of that, hit that follow button. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to all of your Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity for the Nintendo Wii on the Nintendo Wii U gameplay desires. Hashtag sellout. So yeah. So this is an auto scroller. These little beetles are gonna try to fly at me. If I get hit, they explode, and I get stunned and the platform leaves from behind me. So I gotta be I'm gonna, not talk much, because if I mess up, I have to do a really quick thing to, not prevent it. But, I'm gonna be quiet for a bit. Just for the sole purpose of not dying. one more. Also, shout out to that little crab. I've had the crab walk off the stage trying to chase me while I'm up here, which is really neat. Enemies in this game have amazing AIs. In the first forest replica place where I tried to do the petrification skip. There's a set of enemies that I skipped. That if they end up deciding to walk off the ledge to try to chase me and die, there's a nice little 20-second cutscene that says, "Congratulations, you beat them. Move on to the next area." Even when the best part is when I'm attempting to do the skip, the two-frame trick skip, and then the game's like, "Congratulations, you beat them," and then I fall to my death. That's really a neat thing that can happen during runs. So I'm gonna hover right back to the same area I went before. You're supposed to go down in a pit and fight William. Unfortunately, that's pretty slow. So I'm gonna enter the final boss. I'm gonna have to turn the TV up, my game up a bit probably, because there's some audio cues. I'm not gonna talk much. I am gonna say that time stops when the boss dies. Don't worry, I will yell time very loudly. Don't worry. So this is actually really good pace. This is like 124.5 pace. Actually, never mind. This is like low 125. So the only thing I'm gonna mention right now is I'm gonna attempt to do a really weird glitch. It's called a cutscene skip. It's called the cutscene skip. Right here. Okay. There's a really weird thing that can happen in this level, where if you're in a very specific spot at a very specific time to do a very specific action, you can skip the cutscene, that little cutscene, and it lets you move around and start attacking him slightly sooner. And we really don't know why or how it works, but sometimes it gives it to us. I have both gotten a PB from getting it, and also lost a PB from not getting it, which is really neat. I'm gonna be quiet now, because this is the big important part. I'm going to attempt to set up some damage, to do a 1 cycle. Serious time. Rip, a pointer, please. I do not remember how many hits I had on that. Okay, good. If you look at the damage bar, it's knocking out a big chunk of the HP from just one shot. Quick. Okay, let's go. Nice. Rip. I don't know if I got that. So I set up this very specific amount of damage. After you destroy 2 arms, he goes into this phase where he spins around and shoots fire. Also, Odd, please do not die. If I do a very set amount of damage and then kill every single arm, rip, I missed it. And kill all 6 arms at once. He only does 1 phase. Unfortunately, he wiggles around, which is very hard to shoot with Odd. I do 2 full charge shots with Aelita and then 5 shots of bullets with Odd, and it sets it up so I can just do 1 shot each for every arm. But he wiggles around when he does it, when he gets in that phase, so it's kind of hard to nail it. This is the final part. This is the final part of the level. So time ends when his health goes to 0, and I'm gonna jump around in a square like an idiot and try not to die. So. Okay, that sucks. Get ready on time, and time. Neat. So we defeated that was Magma Worm, I should mention, and that was kind of the final incarnation of William. And I skipped the story. I skipped the cutscene. It explains the story, but it goes on for like a minute and a half. So, what happens is William is finally free, and we can get access to him and stuff. 126.59. You know what? I died a bunch of times unnecessarily to show tricks off, so that's kind of acceptable, honestly, I think. So, that's really neat. So yeah, this is a really fun run, honestly. Fun to watch and play. Thank you guys for having me. Alex, also, I know there are no donations for the bid war. Give me a sec. So, I had a donation incentive to save or to spare or kill the console. So this game has a really hard bad tendency. Yes, I got to do it. Neat. Okay, so this game has a pretty bad tendency to where during speedruns, the game a lot of RTA runs or world record runs, we do a lot less safer strats, where we don't go out of our way to kill enemies and stuff in order to save time. But the game can get very easily overwhelmed if we do not do that. So this game has a really high tendency to end up hard locking the console. And with world record runs, we do not save, and there's no place to manually save. So if the game crashes halfway through or 2 hours into the 2 hour run, it's just over. I'm gonna show this off. This is super speed, just to make this a little bit more bearable to get there. So, just to mess with the game, there is a 100% consistent way to hard lock the console. And you know what? I just feel like it's a great way to get vengeance on the game, for all the agony he's showed. Also, wait. Shoutouts to just walking through walls. So, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna be using the cursor glitch I mentioned a little bit ago. I tried to do the cursor glitch in the run, but unfortunately it was very, I did not get it for some reason. It's pretty consistent, but right up here, you remember, like, in the first 10 minutes of the run, there is a William fight, and there's a bunch of waves, but with the glitch, with the cursor glitch, you can actually kill the William. You can actually kill William. So I'm gonna, heck, I gotta do this a little bit better. Nice. Rip. Okay. So, I'm gonna highlight William, and I'm gonna insta kill him, and the game hard locked. So, the game doesn't intend for you to be able to actually kill William. So when it does, it has no idea what's supposed to happen, because you're supposed to kill all the other enemies, and the game's like, okay, the checkpoint is done, but we killed William, and the game's like, you're not supposed to kill this William. So the game just kind of dies. And this is kind of just like a neat thing to do, because the fact that, like, I've lost 2 world record 100% runs on the final level of the 2 hour speed run because the game ended up crashing, because for really unknown reasons. So it's really cool to just be able to do this, just for fun. But that's all I really have. What is next up? I forgot what's next up. Next up is, oh yeah, Gex Enter the Gecko, which is a really neat run. So thanks. I'm going to be back Friday for Brilliant Bob and Wii Music speedruns. So stick around, and thanks for watching and donating and stuff for Save the Children. I am done. Thanks, you guys. See ya. Also, the game is just going to stick like this. I hope you don't mind these demon sounds of death. Thanks, guys.